Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the front room. I'm Kai, and I'm joined by my dad.
Thanks for joining us today, everybody. Got a question for you. Is it a rap and roll kind of a day or a rock and roll kind of a day?
It's a rap and roll.
Oh, good.
It's a rap and roll.
Great.
And it's going to be a new artist. The artist is called Big L. He's from Harlem, New York.
I've heard the name, but...
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. And during the 90s, he was pretty well known within the New York rap scene, but he released an album in 1995, and it sold, I think, a couple 100,000 copies by 2000, but I think the most it reached on the Billboard charts was something like 140th or so.
Mm-hmm.
So it didn't really do that well,
Mm-hmm.
Although he was sort of like a rapper's rapper
Mm-hmm.
in that way. Even Nas, during, I think that same period when he released his first album, the Big L album, Nas saw him perform live and said, like, he was scared because he thought he couldn't be able to compete.
Oh, wow.
If that's what he had to compete with.
Yeah. So did he then go on and become much more widely listened to eventually, or?
Yeah, he released his second studio album in 2000.
Mm-hmm.
Although it was a posthumous album because Big L unfortunately died in 1999 in February, drive-by shooting. He got shot in the face and the chest 9 times and unfortunately passed away. He was only 24 years old. So career and life cut short.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think the song I'm going to show you today, called Street Struck, is one of his most sort of, one of his best storytelling songs,
Mm-hmm.
and sort of like artistic songs. He was known especially for freestyling. So maybe people watching this are thinking, shoot, you should have shown him one of those songs. But I thought it might be a little bit more approachable to show you Street Struck compared to some other songs like Put You On,
Mm-hmm.
or Put It On, or like MVP from the same album. So I'll just show you a picture of Big L quickly.
So, have I heard him in the context of someone else's song or album?
No,
Not
you
at
haven't.
all.
No, you haven't.
Okay.
Yeah, so it'll be a new voice,
Mm.
new sound.
Yeah.
I
Right.
love that photo.
Yeah, it's nice. I like it too.
Big
Right.
L, right?
Yeah.
Throwing up the L. And that's the album.
Big L.
1995, Lifestyles of the Poor and Dangerous,
Okay.
and Street Struck.
Mm.
I
Great.
think you really like it.
Great.
I think you really like it.
Yeah. Well, I've been liking a lot of stuff from that general era, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, we'll get into it. Here we go.
Oops, I just pulled my cord out.
The classic.
You can dress me up, but you can't take me out.
Or
Okay.
even keep you in our own home.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good.
Street Struck.
I noticed a lot of New York rap has a bit of jazz to it.
Yeah, it does. It does.
Yeah, it's the Big L coming at you once again in 9-5, and I dedicate this one to all my people from uptown and everywhere. Check it. The way I'm from, it ain't cookies and cream. There's a lot of peer pressure growing up as a young teen. You never know when you're gonna get wet. 'Cause mad clowns be catching wreck with a tech just to get a rep. Instead of cool friends, they rather hang with male thugs. Instead of going to school, they rather sell drugs. It's best to go the right route and not the wrong one, because it's gonna catch up with you in the long run. Brothers be on the corners acting stupid, getting lifted. Their life is twisted, and most of them are quite gifted. In other words, they got talent, but they rather sell cracks and bust cats and run the streets acting violent. To them, it's all about hitting skins and making some easy green, 'cause that's all they show you on a TV screen. All they care about is a buck, a bust, and a sweet nut. They don't give up, 'cause they street struck. You better listen when L rhymes, 'cause being street struck to get you nothing for the wall of the jail time. So pay attention when L rhymes, 'cause being street struck to get you nothing for the wall of the jail time.
It's good stuff.
The rap contract,
Like that.
I was selling crack, stage strapped with a Mac, I was into all of that. I started rapping and got nice as hell. If it wasn't for this, I might be doing life in jail. And some of my peeps are still in the game selling cane. If that's what you gotta do to maintain, go ahead and do your thing. But with the cash profit, make an investment. And try not to go to the grave like the rest went. 'Cause you can be rich with crazy loot, own a house and 9 cars. What good is that if you're dead behind bars. And yo, it's not even funny. I seen a lot of my peers give up their careers for some fast money. They could have been boxers, ball players, or rap singers. Instead, they bank robbers and crack slingers. And yo, they used to be legit kids. Now they corrupt. They had dreams, but gave them up because they street struck. You better listen to L. Rhymes. Being street struck to get you nothing for the roll of the jail time. So pay attention when L. Rhymes. Being street struck to get you nothing.
Great beats, great rhythm.
Yeah.
To the music.
Totally. What do you think of his voice?
He's got a great voice. You know, his voice is reminding me of someone else, and I just can't put my finger on it.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
I still chill with my peeps in the streets, but most of the time I'm in the crib writing rhymes to some dope beats, or either calling up some freaks to bone. But word up, I try to leave the streets alone. But it's
I love it when there's a pause like that.
Suspenseful.
Yeah.
The crack we call it boogie. It ain't a dumb joke. Listen to this young focus where I'm from. You can choke from the gun smoke. Stay off the corners. That might be your best plan before you catch a bullet that was meant for the next man, or end up with a deep cut, or relaxing on a hospital bed for being street struck. You better listen with L. Rhymes. Being street struck to get you nothing for the roll of the jail time. So pay attention.
I love that little bit of electric piano.
I love it. I love it.
I think it's electric piano. Eh? It's good.
So too.
Really effective. It's got that real kind of beat I'm familiar with. The rhythm, the drumming.
That horn that fades out. Like
Yeah, it's nice. Yeah.
That's really indicative of New York sound.
Well, this sounds really, really New York to me from my limited knowledge base.
It definitely does.
Yeah, does it ever? It reminds me of, it was great.
Yeah.
It was really good.
Nice.
Yeah, I don't want to say it sounds like, but, you know, I try to, you know, when you listen to new music, you naturally, your mind is trying to reference something you're familiar with already, in a way. It reminds me a bit of Illmatic and 39 Chambers. 36 Chambers, right?
Yeah.
The rhythm.
Definitely.
The percussion and the singing too, the singing style a bit. Yeah.
Rapping style.
Yeah, the rapping style. Yeah, it was good. Good stuff.
What did you? How did you feel about his rapping itself?
Oh, I liked it. Yeah. It kind of reminded me a little bit of some of the earlier rapping I'd heard, like Rakim. A little bit in that kind of vein.
Yeah.
A little bit. But then also a bit like I was saying, those other two albums that I'd heard.
I think where you might get that sense is that Big L has a slight predictability once you hear his style a little bit.
I think that's it. And that's what I got with Rakim, I thought. Yeah, that one song I've heard.
Yeah, I think where Big L takes that older sound and progresses it a little bit is with the way that he enunciates his words and his cadence, elongating certain words and the timing of things. So in that way, it becomes a bit more colorful, even though it's predictable. I'm not saying he's predictable, but I'm just saying that his rapping is a little bit more traditional than someone like Nas's.
Yeah, exactly.
Even though comes from the same period.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, Big L is able to string together rhymes in a really proficient way, like a lot of his contemporaries can't. And that's why Nas, when he saw him, he was frightened, right?
Yeah.
That says something.
Yeah.
Because Nas is definitely one of the most technical rappers.
Yeah, I don't want to belabor the point, but I do, like, I'm referencing Rakim and maybe some of the earlier stuff we heard. So I thought of him right away, but like you said, it wasn't exactly like him. It seemed to have become a bit more sophisticated. How I couldn't put my fingers on it.
Yeah.
But you kind of explained that.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, you caught it. And then in terms of the lyrical content itself, that's the particular, that's this part of the song that I think it sort of sticks out like a sore thumb in the album, because a lot of the songs are super atmospheric and rough and dusty sounding, because the album Lifestyles of the Poor and Dangerous, it sets that tone, atmospheric tone, similar to like an Illmatic does for Nas's life.
I see.
But I think Street Struck strikes a chord with many people listening to the song because he's warning you about the dangers that come with the street life. So
what I liked about it was that the entire song had one theme, which you just mentioned.
Yeah.
I noticed in some rap songs they bring in various themes.
Exactly.
And, one verse will be about one theme, next verse is about another theme. And, I'm trying to catch up and figure out, well, what is the theme? This was very clear.
Yeah.
Crystal clear.
Yeah, he's a very vivid storyteller.
Yeah,
And,
I like that. I like that.
I think that is able to capture the listener's ears very well.
Yeah. The dangers of this kind of life. He's saying there's a lot of wasted talent. There's guys who are quite gifted, but they're wasting their talent.
Yeah.
He said that, I think, in the first verse, maybe.
Yeah.
And then, if you follow this kind of life, you're going to end up, it'll be a dead end. You'll be in prison or dead or something. He at the same time, he understands why they're doing it. But he says, you can't just carry on this way. You got to get out of it at some point.
Yeah.
Or,
Yeah. Exactly. Like you could be rich, but like what good is it if you're dead or behind bars?
Yeah.
For example. And then the way that it ends too, stay off the corners. This is a very clear message. Stay off the corners. That might be your best plan before you catch a bullet that was meant for the next man, which is, unfortunate because like he died from a drive-by shooting too. Or end up with a deep cut or relaxing in a hospital bed from being street struck. I like that. Or I don't like it, but that line I think is very effective. Relaxing on a hospital bed.
Yeah.
Because even though that will cause you so much pain and others' pain, because of the fast life that you might be living, it's actually relaxing. To be in a hospital bed. It's pretty.
And you're in what should be a safe environment, relaxing in your hospital bed after, watching out for yourself 24/7 on the streets, right? Yeah. I like the lyrics were so crystal clear.
Yeah, they were. And you could understand it well, right?
And unlike 36 Chambers, for instance, I keep referring to them because that album is kind of vivid in my mind.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of lingo that has me wanting to reach for a dictionary.
Not at all.
I know.
There are a few things, but you can basically put the pieces together because of the context of everything.
Yeah. Obviously, I'm sure I missed a bunch of stuff, but overall, I got it.
Yeah, the message is still there.
Yeah.
Nonetheless. Yeah.
Yeah, I like his voice. He definitely sounds like he's from New York.
Yeah, definitely. Harlem.
Everything, the music, the voice. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So there are a couple other Big L songs that I might like to show you. But there is... Oh, actually, I won't even say it. But I wanted to show you this before I show you another song. Mm-hmm. And also Big L is just considered to be sort of one of the greatest what if stories. He only released one studio album when he was alive, and his second studio album released the year after he died. And it's sort of like a loose collection of a cappella recordings of his voice put onto beats by some of his closest friends and stuff like that. There's actually a Tupac song on the album, Big L Tupac song.
Oh, really?
But he never really followed it up officially. Yeah,
and it sounds like he wasn't the major guiding force of that second album. It was done after he died.
Exactly.
People trying to put his stuff together.
And this one is considered to be, among the 36 Chambers and Illmatics, this is a more low-key entry into that top tier of hip-hop from the 90s. Mm-hmm. So if he had a second album, then he definitely might have left even a greater mark than he did. And rappers like Eminem, super technical rappers, put so much respect on Big L because of his technical ability. So he's known for his freestyling. Maybe we can get into that sometime.
Yeah, great tune.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. It's definitely one of my the first 90s hip hop songs that I really fell in love with.
Oh, you're kidding me.
Yeah, like years and years ago.
Oh, really?
Uh-huh.
Oh, nice.
I don't know how I found it.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Yeah.
Glad you liked it, and thanks for watching, everybody, and hope you have a great day.
Come back soon, guys. Have a great day.
See ya.